videos, materials. I don't like Obama. I'm not knocking 2016, but I sent reporters last night to cover it, David Ortiz and Rob Jacobson, and they said basically, you know, it's that Obama is going to overthrow us with the Muslims. Maybe that, I used to not think that was a joke, but maybe they're running Al-Qaeda. I guess an Al-Qaeda attacks us, they use that to take our rights away. But the point is, it's just kind of neocon fare. We're seeing explosive sales of the Obama deception right now because of the interest of just that film alone. That's available at InfoWarsStore.com. And we've got Nullification about 10th Amendment states' rights as a solution to tyranny. Behold the Pale Horse, the new film with Charlie Daniels. We've got Why in the World Are They Spraying with Chemtrails? Dreams of My Real Father about Obama. The Greater Good, exposing deadly vaccines. Farmageddon, the attacks on farms. The Toronto hearings on 9/11. Indoctrination about the brainwashing in schools. A Noble Lie about the staged terror of Oklahoma City. Scientists Under Attack on GMO. The American Dream film. It's all available at InfoWarsStore.com. And with that, I am done. Again, get the free newsletter at InfoWars.com/newsletter. Just sign up. We'll send you the free magazine, e-version, the daily updates, everything right there on the site. Now, I'm going to try to shut up now ahead of Steve Quayle coming on because I brought up some of my questions. But we're not just in a vacuum saying Obama's going to stage stuff. And I want to get back into what your source said, every little piece of data, without you and I going back and forth with provisos here with our guest, who I believe, you know, has this source. You've put out a lot of good info in the past. This is what my sources are saying, but more vague. Just we're told get ready for all, you know what, to break loose in late October, early November. Again, and if we're successful in backing off, they'll say, you said this was going to happen. I'm not saying that was going to happen. I'm saying this is what our sources are saying. I mean, our source on the Olympics was confirmed to be a famous TV producer who did infiltrate, and they later admitted it was a security disaster, and they were told something was going to happen. But they do this quite often. My issue is, did we back it off, or was it a psyop? I don't know. But they're gearing up 400 million bullets, 1 billion, 400 million bullets, armored checkpoints, tanks driving around everywhere, giant black armored vehicles everywhere, surveillance going in, all sorts of federalization, police being given federal ID cards. They're saying they're getting ready for financial collapse in the Washington Post and Fox News. I mean, all this is there. And so I'm saying we better be concerned because the stars are aligning with the Iran situation. Israel saying they may attack in October or November. We've got the election, so they love October surprises. We've got all these things lining up, and my gut is saying, danger, Will Robinson. You know, Robbie the Robot, whenever something's approaching. There is something approaching from the Southwest. I mean, I'm saying this is the season of it. And I see the preparation, the hyping, the pushing, the conservatives, the libertarians, the talk show hosts like Alex Jones and Matt Drudge and Glenn Beck, and they're going to cause violence. They're planning an overthrow. And then you've got a group that's been caught doing false flags. Let's not forget they did Fast and Furious. We would be insane with sources like the one our guest has to not be concerned. So I want you to continue here, Doug Hagman, and I want to give out your website as well, HomelandSecurityUS.com, where you break down what's really happening with Homeland Security, HomelandSecurityUS.com. You've got the floor for the next 20 minutes ahead of Steve Quayle joining us. Why do you think they're so bold and talking about how false flags will help them in front of us on TV like we don't hear them? What is that? Or is that just pure criminal hubris? And then you've got the floor. Tell me everything your source said.
Well, okay, starting from what you just said, Alex, the boldness, that bothered me a lot because when I deal with the criminal element, they're very covert, they're quiet, the conspiracies are underneath, under the cloak of darkness. Why are we hearing about this so openly? And I think one of the reasons is that people don't get it, or there's this normalcy bias. There's this tendency for people not to believe it. And I asked my sources too. I said, number one, why now? Why can't you, for example, go public? And he came back and said, well, what do you think I'm doing? I am going public. I am telling you, I'm trying to get the word out. You know, it's not like I can go down to the New York Times and they're going to print this. We have to use people like yourself. And of course, I've known this person for a long time. But that said, I do believe that it's out in the open because it's almost as if no one really cares. I mean, no one, or they don't believe it. Or even if it does happen, they won't believe the origin of it. Now, what is it? What are we talking about, for example? And I asked my source, okay, what should we be looking for? And he said, frankly, you know, I'm not sure. Because the talk among the high-level people that he has access to has been pretty vague, purposely vague. Now, as I understand it, as he understands it, there are a couple of different potential possibilities. When he said, all right, it's going hot, and those were his words, and he was very adamant about this. He said there has been approval from the White House sources, from the White House people, to go ahead with a plan, whether it's Plan A, it could be a racially triggered event, Plan B, an economic triggered event, or Plan C, staging, for example, riots in different cities. They've got the personnel to do this too. That was the other thing. And Alex, I'm giving you information that I withheld from any written article because I knew I was going to be doing some interviews. But look, when they've got the people to engage in provocative type of activities, we'll say, to storm a county courthouse, to storm a federal building in opposition or because of some protest or whatever, or even to storm facilities in Washington. Remember that shooting at the White House here not too long ago. My source said, for one person in particular, Ms. Jarrett was very upset that was not played up better in the media, because here it is, most likely a white gun owner shooting at the house of a black president. Obama wasn't even in the White House. Again, they're trying to make this a racial issue, and so the trigger event, the actual event that's being talked about, it's rather vague. But, look, it's going to be something that's the intent here, according to my source, and I took copious notes when I spoke to him on a couple of different occasions. The intent is to really galvanize that chasm, that difference between the races or the classes, whatever it might be. To make sure that there is white versus black or white versus whoever, okay, where the gun owning Christian pro-constitutionalist, they are going to, everything that you pointed out in the MIAC report, the returning veterans, that threat, there's going to be that common thread of that threat involved in whatever staged event there is. And again, this does fit and comport with, as you've stated in the past, the New World Order agenda. And I asked my source this as well. I said, is Obama behind this? I mean, is this just Obama? And he said, I don't think so. He said, I don't think so, because again, the information that he's got access to does suggest some level of higher involvement. And again, I'm thinking, well, how much higher do you go than Obama if we're talking specifically about Obama? And of course, there's the New World Order factor, and something I never thought existed, but it certainly does. And you've proven that time and time again. So that's what we're looking at, Alex. And I'm not sure I could be any more specific as to what it is. What the event is going to be. Sure.
Well, I mean, I can imagine they're all wondering, are we still going to be here? And they say, yeah, don't worry. There's going to be a crisis very soon, and we're going ahead with it. And that's basically what your source said, because they're on Chris Matthews not once but twice saying we need a big catalyzing event to reconnect. Another show a year ago, we need a mass shooting to reconnect, and it's a White House official saying this on the show. We see the fundraising memos, the Tides Foundation letters saying there's going to be an event and it's going to be blamed on, talk radio. We see them. We see Bill Clinton telling USA Today, oh, my reelection to Oklahoma City had brought us together. I mean, we know that Robert Shapiro, in fact, guys, type this in. Robert Shapiro says only terror attack will save Obama. Show the Financial Times of London on screen. I don't want to just be saying this. I know we've shown it hundreds of times, but we haven't shown it today. I want to show people where he says, barring, this is a quote, a new Oklahoma City or 9/11, the president is not going to get reelected. I mean, why are they saying this publicly? I mean, it's like they're saying, we need it, we need it, we need it, as if we're dumb and don't see this.
Yeah, and this is one thing, too. I've talked at length with the author Marinka Peshman, author of The Whistleblower. And in fact, she's going to be on our program tonight. But I've talked with her, and she said people have to understand the Clintons, number one, have never left power, have never left the Washington power structure. And number two, the Clintons are interwoven within the Obama power structure. They're advising Obama, and how well that they use the Oklahoma City tragedy, the bombing there, how well that they massaged put the blame on talk show hosts, radio talk show hosts, the conservative hatred of conservative, or not even conservatives, but the hatred of those who would dare expose their tactics. This is where the Obama administration is getting their information from, and I've got to tell you, it's big. I mean, the influence is huge, but when you come down to the logistics of such an operation here, once again, we were striving together to try to figure out if we don't have we've got pages of their playbook. We've got their operational playbook, but the plays themselves, we only have bits and pieces of the plays. We know, for example, again, it's going to be either racial or economic. It's in terms of a trigger event, and I'm trying to be as precise as possible, but not just operating off of the information that we have. So, I mean, it's something that, again, my source says, look, there is something here. We've heard the discussions. He's heard the discussions. He's heard the meeting where they said, okay, it's a go. It's going to go hot. But beyond that, is in terms of when exactly, I wish I could say, it would be October 10th or 12th, or I wish I could say it would be, an attempted whatever. I can't. I don't have that information, nor does he. Now, on the other hand, I will say this. He is working to mitigate, and you pointed this out, and I think this is important for people really to understand. And Steve Quayle, by the way, who's coming on, his sources